Moving on to Tuesday, 7th December, making good decisions on the Resource Management Act, which is in Auckland, and I guess that, is that a 1 day?
It's actually Monday and Tuesday.
It's a 2 day, 7th and 9th, 7th and 8th.
No, 6th and 7th.
Oh, 6th, it goes that way, does it? 6 and 7. Okay, I've only got 7.
Monday and Tuesday.
We need to, there's a bit of homework to do, isn't there, like, on this, if we went and did this course. So the more lead-in we get, the more time we can do our homework before we go to this course.
I believe if you...
It's more after.
Oh, it's after, okay.
Yeah. You get a folder with...
This is the start of a journey to get your ticket if you wish to be accredited for making good decisions on the Resource Management Act, which means you can sit on planning hearings and what have you, and applications. Mike's done it. He's the only one in the room with the ticket now, I think. Mike's done it. So you want to explain the process, Mike? How does it start now?
I have to do mine again too because mine runs out. Yes,
Yours
I'm
would only be
on
a
the same level. Sorry?
Are you a refresher though, or you have to do the whole course again?
I'm not sure. I'll soon find out, but I'd like to go. Just how many people would like to go to the Auckland one?
So that's the 6th and 7th, is it?
Yeah.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got about 6, 7, we've got all of you, have we?
Definitely one.
Oh, Kirsty as well, not Gary.
So
Okay. Well, what will happen, just to an argument, say, well, that's fine, and that's our responsibility is to upskill you as best as we possibly can. And if that's what you wish to do, that's what will happen. Just to take the truck a little bit forward from there, once you've all ticketed and things like that, and we do hearings, we will be doing them under the suggestions of what power runs over that? That's the body that makes suggestions on the Resource Management Act. They say to use 3, rotate your chairperson.
Oh, commissioners.
Oh, well, that's what you will discuss in your governance workshop.
Yeah. Okay.
Arrangement.
We haven't made any decisions on that.
So how do we could we get this amount of people into that course?
I believe we can, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, yes, we can get everybody onto that who wants to attend.
Okay, cool, right.
Your Worship, there are other courses, aren't there? One in Wellington, but possibly if we can't get them all in Auckland.
And I imagine that the other thing too will be there's a lot of change in councils right around the country, so there may be quite a lot of pressure on those courses as well, but we'll endeavour to get everybody.
Well, consider we've only got one with a ticket left, we better hit the ground running, hadn't we?
One of the things you'll be invited to do at your next meeting is to appoint some independent commissioners to cover off the gap.
Yeah. Okay, Ms. Gilbert, so that's got us through to Thursday the 9th, Council Workshop, which is the Taupo Urban Commercial Structural Plan. Do you want to fill us in on that?
My understanding is that Mr. Green's been asked to report back with some more information following on from the hearings, and that this workshop was intended to partly bring Council up to speed with some of the perhaps more detailed elements of the proposal that the new councillors may not be aware of, and then also to invite Council to think about what next steps it wants to take.
Okay, fine. And then that afternoon, another council meeting?
This is an ordinary council meeting. And typically, because December is very difficult, that's why we bring the council meeting forward in that month.
Okay. And then Tuesday into January. Okay. Any more questions on that?
Can I ask Merrick, when do we know, when we can we confirm the making good decisions course? Because
Helen, you just answer that.
I can confirm that within 20 minutes of you making a decision. I will leave this chamber and go and ring someone up.
So if we go to have a little bit of a chat when I close the meeting about a few other issues in the councillors' room, before they leave you'll be able to say they've all been accepted or not as far as vacancies, because that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
That's what I expect.
Okay, cool. Well, you'll know this afternoon. Nicola?
When will you be able to advise us the time frames of the meetings on each specific date?
In fact, it's for this council to determine the times for those meetings. I would suggest that you start your council meetings at 1 o'clock, only because that's what we've done recently. You do get to come up with a different date. And also, I guess, you get to suggest what times you would like workshops to start. We'll give you an idea of about how much time we think would be needed. And typically what we'll do is we'll get you in as late as possible for each workshop. So if we know that there's a good 3 hours of work, we'll get you in at, say, 9, so that you work 9 to 12 and then have a lunch break. But if we know there's only an hour and a half, but it's very important stuff and we can't hold it up any longer, we'll suggest that you start at perhaps 10:30 or 11.
That's true. So you can have lunch, then run into a council meeting.
So for the meetings on this schedule, I would suggest that we start at 9 a.m. Just because in each case, each workshop then runs on to a council meeting in the afternoon.
Realising that Kirsty's got a 40-minute drive from Mangakino and 4 children to get to school, how does that suit you?
Yeah, well, ideally, I'd love to start whatever we're doing as early as possible.
Early as?
Early as, yeah.
So 9
from
o'clock's
9.
good with you?
Yep.
Fine, good, cool. Anybody else got issues? Or I know Barry plays golf on Wednesdays, and so do I. So, well, we're not talking about Wednesdays.
There's only one comment that I'd like to make is occasionally in the past I honestly believe that some of the meetings went on too long because and quite often the important decisions are right at the end of the day when you're all fatigued and tired and they get pushed through, and I don't think that's good governance personally. So whilst we've got to get through the meeting, and I know there's business people sitting around the table, to me there should be a limit of, say, 6 hours of meeting time. And I think that's more than enough to make good decisions. So perhaps we have a 3-hour meeting, a lunch and a 3-hour meeting. I mean, obviously if there's only one item left, then we deal with it. But I think it's bad policy to go on for sort of 7 hours of meeting time in one day, personally. I get fatigued, I get tired, and we get ratty with one another. So, that's me.
I take on board what you're saying, Barry, but I'm searching my mind here. We've always started our council meetings at 1, and I've never been at one that's gone past 6 o'clock.
Yeah, but you see, then we say, oh, well, we're going to have workshops, and we start at 9 o'clock. And we don't finish until 5:15. Okay. For some people, that's perhaps okay because it's only lasted a day. But quite often, at 5:15, we've got confidential items that are the most important items of the day to make huge decisions on.
Yeah, through the chair. Again, I think this is actually not a good reflection on how it will be for 3 years because we've got an awful lot of stuff to get through in the initial months whilst we're all bedding down and finding out what it is that we actually need to know as a team. I think as we get into the run of the mill meetings, we are optimistic as officers that we will be able to have one Tuesday, which is possibly the second Tuesday of the month, for workshops, and the third Tuesday of the month for the council meeting. So it won't be a case where there's a workshop in the morning and a council meeting in the afternoon, because we'll probably deal with the workshops the week before. That has an added bonus of offering us the opportunity as officers to get information far clearer into the council agenda, so it's a bit more open and transparent. So that's the way we're hopeful that it will be in the future, and we won't have those lengthy days where we're workshopping all morning and then meeting all afternoon. It will be a day for workshop and a day for a council meeting, and the council meetings will generally be from 1 o'clock onwards, and workshops will generally be from 9 o'clock onwards, but they will be on different days, different Tuesdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays we're sort of looking at, aren't we? No, point taken. And whilst we want to be the best we can, we are going into a big major restructuring program from what we're used to, Barry, both you and I, Mike and Gary. And I guess the new council will look for a bit of guidance from us, but of course I also expect them to make their own decisions on what they want to do. But yeah, I don't particularly want to start at 9 in the morning and finish at 6 at night. But I do see a completely different makeup around the tables here, and I don't think we're going to be too stuck in the mud about how we do things. And we need to change, you know that. And I appreciate what you're saying, because we will change. It's going to take us a month or two to bed down, get Christmas out of the way, and get to feel how everybody's happy to run things. And hey, you know, long as if you do something and it doesn't work, we'll change it and we'll do it another way. We always be prepared to change if it needs to be changed. That's what I always say. If you're driving in a road and there's a corner in a road, I sincerely suggest you turn that corner, because otherwise you're going to go over a bank. So, yeah. Keith?
Mayor, can I ask, as a new councillor, who decides on the order of the agenda items? Taking up what Barry's point is, if we're leaving the decisions that have got the greatest impact on this district to the end, is it not better to look at the order that we put the agenda items in? And I'm just asking in ignorance, how are the agenda orders?
Normally your chairperson will always, along with the staff, and like a council meeting, Miss McLeod always meets with me the week before and says, this is what we want on the agenda, Rick. We normally sort out how we should run through them. We normally get rid of our minutes first and get all them done and then we go into them. But confidence is always done at the end, simply because you have to clear your chamber, you have to turn your webcam off, and it's just a bit of a logistical thing. But let me tell you, and I'm not here to look in rear vision mirror, when I came in the last triennium, there was 80-odd items in confidence, and we took 72 of them out, and nobody batted an eyelid. So confidence shouldn't be used unless it's totally necessary, and that's normally only commercially sensitive with property deals, staff issues and things like that. So I'm very conscious that we should always spend the most amount of time on the most important agenda item, especially as to how it affects the district, by all means. But council agendas are set by your chairperson. But I have closed many a council meeting down at 5 o'clock or something, and we just had no show getting to the end of the agenda because of some people wanted to be in the meeting, so I've just closed them down and adjourned them till the next day. But you should, and if you can't get through to business genuinely, you just adjourn it to the next day. But you must do your business in the best way you can. And if everybody's tired, you adjourn the meeting. And I'd be the first to do so. So it looks like we've got a suggested resolution there, Mrs. Gilbert.
Can I suggest that it read that the first ordinary meeting of the Taupo District Council be held at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, 9 November 2010. Yeah. And then a second resolution that the next ordinary council meetings be held at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, 23rd November and Thursday, 9 December.
Okay. But what about this third part of this resolution here?
You can
cross that out.
It's not completely clear that you'll need a meeting in January, to be honest, partly because of the work on the long-term plan takes us quite a lot further forward, and we'll need to do some workshopping on that, kind of where that's headed in February. So you could skip the January meeting and resolve that there be no ordinary council meeting in January.
Yeah, we'll leave that out at the moment. We'll take suggested resolution number 3 out. If we strike that out, number 1 is 1 p.m. Tuesday, 9 November. 2, that it becomes the next one at 1 p.m. Tuesday, 23rd of December. No, November. Change that to November. So we'll carry that on there. And 9th December. At 1 o'clock? Okay, so I have a mover for that, please. So moved. Councillor Kirk. Seconder. Councillor Craig. All in favour? So carried. That's your meeting dates. And that brings us to the end of a very, very small, short agenda today, which was basically only to do the swearing-in ceremony. So, yeah, thank you very much. And you're all now officially not just elected, you are appointed. Is that the word? And so all good. Now, listen, anything you're not sure of, ask me, ask Rob, senior managers. You've got the thing in the room there. I honestly believe that anything you need to know, you only need to go to the CEO, the Deputy CEO, Alan Menhennick, Gareth Green, Ted Anderson. If I missed any in the top layer, and that's where you should be able to get any questions, any answers that you want without going any deeper down into the engine room, because that's not where governance should go. Governance should deal with the senior managers, and that's it.
Are we going to stay and chew the fat about the board?
We can, but I have to close this meeting first. But if you want to stay and have a half an hour workshop or something, we'll go in there and chew the fat over it. But I will now officially close the District Council meeting of the 26th of October at 2:16. Thank you very much.